Welcome back to Dynasty Debrief. We're going to be starting a new series today. We're talking about the top prospects in your rookie drafts coming up this season. We're going to start off with a really exciting prospect, Malik Nabers, a wide receiver out of LSU. He's 20 years old right now. He will be 21 when the season starts. We're going to talk about some of his strengths as a player, and he has a lot of them. First of all, when you're watching his film, the biggest thing that stands out to us is his vertical threat. He has true 4.3 speed. He really blows past defenders, and when he's that fast, he's able to set up like curl routes, hitch routes, those things like that because he threatens so well vertically that he's able to get separation on those in breaking routes. So he sets up everything with just his vertical speed. And I see him in the NFL, like teams are really being able to tap into that versatility, the fact that he's such a threat vertically, and just kind of use him there, like slants, hitches, out routes, just anything. Like defenders are going to be scared of his speed. Another thing that he does really well, he tracks the ball in the air, which kind of goes back to his whole vertical thing. He tracks the ball. He can make contested catches, contort his body. He has great body control. Um, yeah, he's just like that all factors in to the vertical threat, which I keep stressing. That's his best skill as a wide receiver. The other thing that really stands out is his yak ability. He's only 6 foot, 200 pounds, but his yak, once he catches the ball, he's so hard to tackle and he's so fast and shifty. Like it's just a nightmare. So he's going to be getting a ton of yards after the catch and generating fantasy points for your team. Another thing that he did really well, he broke out at 19 years old. So his 2022 season, he had 70 catches for over 1,000 yards. And this is in an offense where you had Kayshon Boutte, who was a six-round pick. He didn't pan out like people thought he would, but still an NFL talent. And he's also competing with Brian Thomas, who will be a first-round pick this year. And he still had 1,000 yards at 19 years old in the SEC. So that's a blue chip elite prospect. And then this year, he was incredible. 80 catches, over 1,400 yards, had over 10 touchdowns. Just great stuff you want to see in the SEC, just as a top five talent. He also had 3.81 yards per route run, which is just it's an insane number. Like the biggest thing about Malik Nabers is that he's in this class of Marvin Harrison Jr. If Marvin Harrison Jr. wasn't there, Malik Nabers is the clear wide receiver one, and we might even be talking about him as like a 102 pick in a rookie draft, maybe even 101, depending on your format. The other thing as a prospect watching his film is he doesn't really handle press coverage well. But I think getting into the NFL, there's not a lot of teams that really run that bump and run coverage. A lot of teams like to do like the zone, just playing your corners off. And Malik Nabers really attacks zones well. He's able to just separate and figure out where the open spot on the field is. So I think, that's another thing you can coach up. Receiver coaches can coach him up on how to beat zone, how to beat press, that kind of thing. So I have no concerns over beating press in the next level.
Yeah, when I watched Malik Nabers, I think my pro comp I got out of it was Garrett Wilson. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's really similar to body type, just like the separating. And I think Garrett Wilson is a good yak guy
Mm-hmm.
too. Yeah, I can definitely see a lot of similarities in their game for sure.
Yeah.
The one play that I watched that stood out to me the most was he had a 4th and 7, and Daniels trusted him enough to go on a 30-yard vert, and they just threw it up to him, and he just went out, made the play, scored a touchdown. It was like when your quarterback has that much confidence in your receiver on a 4th and 7, is just throw, hey, go get it, and throw it out there. It shows you how talented he really is, and how much the coaching staff and the quarterback really trusted him, and that's something that you really need at the NFL level.
Yeah, so now we're going to look at the NFL draft, see what spots he could go. There's only a couple, really. And then talk about where that would affect his dynasty value, where he's going to go in your startup drafts, maybe what those picks are worth, will we trade for them, and so on. So looking at the NFL draft right now, there's really four main teams that we're looking at here. We're looking at the Giants, the Chargers, the Cardinals, and possibly the Falcons if he falls that far, but we really don't think he will.
No.
So these are kind of like the good, or sorry, the great, the okay, and the terrible situations that he could be in. It's pretty polarizing, right? So obviously the Chargers, Malik Neighbors goes to the Chargers. How happy are you?
That's S tier of those teams that you just named.
Really?
It's a one-man tier.
So I'm actually going to disagree with you there, Jeff. The Chargers brought in Greg Roman this offseason, and if you see our buy low, sell high video, I kind of talked about Zay Flowers and that Baltimore offense. They didn't throw the ball very much when Greg Roman was there, and I think that's going to be their personality, their kind of like offensive mindset is to run the ball a lot with Jim Harbaugh, Greg Roman. So even though great quarterback, obviously Justin Herbert, and that could, I think that's like an A tier. I just wouldn't put it S tier just because the passing volume and maybe
Yeah,
like
fair.
I, I don't know.
You'd still
I would
take
have to see it.
Chargers over Cardinals, though, right?
I don't
I
know.
think you have to with Herbert
You
being
have
there,
to.
with how good Keenan Allen was last year. I know even they don't throw the ball as much, they're still going to throw the ball. It's freaking Justin Herbert at quarterback. You know what I mean? So I think Chargers. You're looking at Malik Nabers in your rookie drafts. I could see him getting pushed all the way up to 103 territory. I really could. And in a 10 team where we think Marv should go 101, I could see Neighbors 102 genuinely over Caleb in a 10 team where quarterbacks are a little more replaceable.
Yeah, in a start 10 team, 4-point passing touchdown, I like Malik Nabers is that good. He really is that good. Like just watch his highlights, even like you want to do that, and he's just an incredible player. And I could see that. I don't think it's the craziest thing to put him over Caleb. If like in that format, obviously if you're talking about 12 teams, start 10, 6-point passing touchdown, obviously we're going Caleb. But it kind of always goes back to the context is everything and the formats of your league. I don't think that's a craziest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like with my Chargers take, it was like compared to the other teams on that list, Herbert's got the strongest arm out of those quarterbacks, and it's not relatively close.
That
Like, yeah,
yeah.
the volume might be there more in Arizona with him being the number one threat there right away. I mean, he'd be the number one threat with the Chargers right away too. But Herbert's got that over the top cannon ball that you really want,
And he's just better.
and it's just
He is better.
He's just
better passer.
The Cardinals is still also a really good landing spot. I don't think that's nearly as possible just because they pick at 4. Do they pick anywhere else? No,
They
right?
pick at 4, and the only way that really happens is
They could trade down.
if the
If the
Patriots were to
Patriots
take
take.
Marv,
It's like, yeah, I guess it's pretty possible.
unless
Cardinals are still a really good landing spot, though.
Well, all right, let's talk about that. Let's say Marv goes to the Patriots
Okay.
and the Cardinals take Malik Nabers. Is there any world where you're taking Malik Nabers over Marvin
I
Harrison?
think there's people out there that will, the overreactors. I'm still taking Marv just because of the blue chip, like the bluest chip you could ever see type of wide receiver that he is.
I'm still taking Marv too, but I think that move really solidifies Caleb Williams as the 101 regardless of the teams. Because I feel like in a 10 team with Marv on the Cardinals, like you're guaranteed that big volume, but with the Patriots, you really don't know what you're going to get. And plus, if the Patriots take Marvin Harrison number 3, who's playing quarterback for them? Who's throwing Marvin
That's a good
Harrison the
point.
ball? So I think with that move, with the Patriots taking Marv at 3, hypothetically, I think that locks in Caleb Williams as the 101 in all formats. Um, but I'm also still taking Marvin Harrison over Neighbors just because of how talented Marvin Harrison is.
Yeah, I kind of think like if Marv went to the Patriots, I would be hesitant because it's like you're looking at Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, or maybe they bring in Russell Wilson. I guess I'm not really sure what that plan would be if they were to do that.
Yeah.
And then also an unproven offensive coordinator. That offense is just a mess. But you're kind of betting that Marvin Harrison is like the
That
best
guy.
prospect. Yeah, really, the best prospect since Jamar Chase.
And it might take a year.
Yeah,
Like,
it
it
could.
might take a year.
Absolutely.
That's fine. He's not gonna have no quarterback forever.
Then I get Marvin a nice buy low price in a year. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, and then if he goes to the Giants,
Mhm.
Malik Neighbors talking about now goes to the Giants. Womp womp. Like I could see him falling all the way down to like 106 in certain formats.
I think Bowers has to go to the Chargers if that were to happen.
I don't think so, dude. The Giants are an ugly landing spot.
Giants are really bad.
The Giants are awful.
The volume would be there though. Like, what
Yeah.
other receivers do they have?
That's true.
Zero.
But yeah, they don't throw the ball a whole lot. Like it's just
You don't
ugly.
trust Daniel Jones. I guess you trust maybe Brian Dable. I think he's a really good offensive mind to scheme up Malik
God,
Neighbors.
if Saquon leaves, that's true, brother.
You don't want Saquon to leave in that
I know.
case.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm saying like if Saquon leaves, the offense is just gonna be so much worse.
Is there any possibility, let's say Malik Neighbors does go to the Giants
Mhm.
and Caleb goes to the Bears and then Odunze goes to the Bears at 9? Are you ever thinking about taking Odunze over Neighbors?
You taking the talent. Give me Neighbors. I'll
Yeah,
take all the talent.
like while it does knock his, dynasty value quite a bit going to the Giants, you still have to bet on the talent and Neighbors. I think we all agree that Neighbors is a step above Adunze.
Absolutely.
He's closer to Marv than he is to
Odunze, yeah.
So
I agree.
I would.
would you like him? I love Neighbors. I think he's fantastic.
They're 1A, 1B, Marvin Neighbors, and then
Yeah.
Odunze is a clear 2, 3, whatever.
If you lucked out and you traded for someone's like 104 this year, like you hit the freaking lottery with that pick. Because there's so many good players in this draft.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you can see them soon in more videos that we're going to produce, taking deep dives on these rookies. If you like other videos, we have plenty of them. If you like this one, make sure to like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.